What's up my people, my name is Spicey and today I have 6 stories coming out of the subreddit malicious compliance. If you like these videos, remember to subscribe to the channel and leave a fire emoji in the comments because your engagement does help me grow this channel and make better content for you. Congratulations Luis Santiago for the comment of the day. Lady demands I conjure a cup from thin air. I work at this small McDonald's in 2009. I have tons of these stories as it was in the unfortunate area of town, but this one is my favorite. This woman peeps into the drive-thru and asks for an extra large strawberry milkshake, which is a size that McDonald's does not have, although they do have a large, which is a good liter. This woman insists that I give her an extra large. I inform her that I cannot conjure cups. She demands her milkshake and goes to the window. I take her money, give her the large one, and think that the order is done. No, she throws this milkshake at me and demands an extra large. Manager wants to step in, but I get crafty. I had these buckets you would give to kids with Happy Meals. I tell the runner to crank the machine to the brim. I get my hoard of strawberry cow sludge and cover that bucket with cling wrap and poke a straw into it. Hand this to the lady and just say we ran out of extra large cups. She snatched it from me and peels out of the place. She comes back a minute later, covered in milkshake. Apparently, she went over a speed bump going 50 and it went off like a grenade. Manager said he would give her our biggest size, large, for free. She goes on basically on the same rant. We had to get this woman taken out of the place by cops, kicking and screaming about her milkshake. Airport compliance. I saw the sweetest compliance instant justice I've ever seen yesterday at the airport. We were standing in line for Air France in JFK and did not open until 1 p.m. So there was a long line of people waiting. It usually moves fairly quickly, but there was a pretty impatient person standing there. They open up and the line starts to move. An attendant walks through and starts looking at tickets. And if people pre-checked in, they were told to move on to the bag drop-off line and move on. It was a quicker lane because people were literally dropping off bags only. This impatient lady asked the guy to let her go over there. He told her that was for bag drop off only. She got a little upset they were moving quicker and asked much louder the next time. He told her she was not checked in yet and she needed to stay in that line. The third time he walked by, she stopped him again and started really yelling at him about how she was paying so much for her ticket and she did not understand while those other people got to go through. I don't know if the gate ticket person understood what was going on, but I heard the guy say to her, "Fine, you are going to be told to go out and check in and you will be at the back of the line, but if you insist and it means that much to you, go into the line." She looked triumphant as she stood there with her bags, and then she got to the front and the check-in attendant looked at her passport and then told her she was not checked in yet and she needed to go stand in the line for check-in. She was very upset and started yelling. Security showed up and walked her out of line. After talking to her, she agreed to get in line. They made her get in the very back. Oh wow, so not only is it a good instant karma, but she was an entitled Karen. No pity for you. He warned you and you decided to still go on your way and get screwed. That's on you, lady. It hit the fan. To preface this, I work as a wastewater technician. My job involves taking a truck with a 600-gallon water tank in a diesel-powered compressor and blowing plugs out of sewer lines. Your toilet's backup? I am the guy the city sends out with some big mad scientist gloves and rubber boots. I love my job, not because of the subject matter, but because of the laid-back way the job operates, and the pay and benefits don't suck either. So, a few weeks back, me and my coworker get a call out of this house. I look up the address, find the lateral sewer line from the house to the main on the map, then look at the call history. This one's a problem child, and the notes even make mention of the resident at this address being nasty and deliberately failing to follow instruction on sewer maintenance. The fact that someone actually had to give them instructions on how to not flush hand towels down the toilet really speaks volumes here. Actual cotton hand towels, not just wet wipes. I know they said they are flushable, they really are not. Well, we get out there and there's a city councilman waiting for us. Turns out that the resident is their relative, somehow. I did not dig too far and only found that out afterwards. Whatever, we do our job and check the city clean out, which is usually at the front of your yard under a little metal lid. Most people's are grown over by their lawns, and there is no flowing or standing water there. This is where our job should have ended. The city's responsibility ability only extends to from the sewer main to that cleanout, no further. Well, the concealment starts telling us to run our line further up. We explain that we have to have the residents sign a waiver holding the city harmless for damages if we do that. And I have to get authorization from the wastewater department manager. The usual hoops, you know? He gets on the phone with my boss and starts rattling his cage about this. So my boss calls me on my phone and says, "Look, I know and you know that this is a bad idea, but do what he says or he's gonna make our lives hell." I agree. The resident signs the waiver after we inform her of what could happen, and we start searching for the resident cleanout to push our line through and down to the sewer, so it will clear the entire lateral line. Well, we can't find it. It is probably under the porch that was added sometime in the last 3 years, and we can't get to it. Councilman goes ballistic over this, of course, because how dare we peons impede his ability to impress his own family. I call my boss back and inform him of this, and he says, "The lateral runs into a manhole, right? Just go through the manhole and up towards the house." The reason that I really did not want to do this is that the compressor on that truck pushes out water at something near 4000 psi, depending on which head we have on the hose. But the big man had spoken. I log my token objection while fitting the lowest pressure head I have, because to hell with this and hang up. Me and my coworker open the manhole, find the end of the lateral and run the hose up to where we think the clog is, and fire. Suddenly, all kinds of stuff come flowing out of the line. We clear the clog. Yay us! We tell the resident to go flush her toilet so we can make sure it is flowing properly. She goes back in and then comes storming out, screaming about suing the city, we have destroyed her home, etc. I don't need to listen because I already know what happened and she'd been warned. The pressure blew back up the 4 inches wide lateral, right up to her toilet and out of it, along with everything in its way. It hit the ceiling, it hit the window, it hit the walls. Concealment blows a gasket, and I point out that she signed a waiver and that my boss has every call to or from this office recorded as a matter of official communication. So we have him ordering us to do this and had informed both of them of the risk prior. We then left and headed back to the yard and left that guy screaming into a phone. My boss did not stop laughing for at least 10 minutes after we got back and started making photocopies of the waiver form we had the resident sign. I heard there was some kerfluffle about the whole incident at the next big meeting, and those photocopies were distributed along with the recording of the councilman's call. I never heard of it going further than that. So he told you there was a risk that it could damage your entire house, but oh man, can you imagine her bathroom? It must have dirty water and probably a bunch of crap, and real crap all over the place. The whole bathroom was a toilet. Oh no, am I a bad person for laughing at this? But you know what? How about you subscribe to the channel now? You would get more of my videos and I do my best to make good content for you, so go ahead, I would appreciate it. I followed the dress code. Technically, when I was in 8th or 9th grade, my parents decided to send me to a private school that was run by my church. I had come from a public school and was not used to a dress code that dictated what you wore. The uniform consisted of a light blue or white colored button-down shirt and navy blue pants for boys, or a knee-length or longer navy blue skirt for girls. Black or brown closed-toe shoes were also required. For high school, girls were required to wear pantyhose or tights. I hated this because I am a tad eccentric, and I like to wear bright colors and creative styles. While I was in 8th grade, I could wear socks with my shoes, and there was no explicitly stated rule on colors, so I went nuts. Whether they matched or not, I wore the loudest socks I could find. Bonus if they were knee-high. The teachers hated it, but could not do anything about it. The next year's dress code included a rule that socks had to be black, white, or navy blue. That was fine for me. I was in 9th grade and had to wear pantyhose/ties. I walked in on day 1 of the new school year, rocking neon blue ties. I stocked up on bright yellow, green, etc. The next year, they had to come out with a rule for that too, but by then, thankfully, I moved and went back to a public school. I have to wear the tiny school uniform shirt? Okay, not a particularly poignant malicious compliance, but it felt like a big victory back then. I am a guy and I attended a small private Christian school for middle school. We had uniforms for regular day wear as well as for PE. The PE shorts were the worst. I had bought the largest pair they had and they barely reached my thighs. I tried sagging my shorts, but the school was strict about keeping your shirt tucked in, and the amount of sagging necessary meant the shirt tail would not stay in. I complained that the shorts were too short, but the vice principal told me I had to be in uniform or I'd have to pull a card. It is part of a behavioral management system that was pretty common in my area. I was sick of wearing the stupid things and being self-conscious of the world's tiniest shorts in the era of baggy clothes. So I decided to do something about it. I wore my favorite Nike shorts that hung below my knees and put the short shorts on top of the longer ones. Then made sure to tuck in the shirt. During PE, the vice principal said, "Hey, you're supposed to be in uniform." And I said, "I am in uniform and my shirt's even tucked in. See?" He looked at me for a few seconds and he said, "Just take off the uniform shirts. You can wear the long ones. It just looked bad otherwise." And I got to wear normal shirts during PE for the rest of the year. Short and sweet, grown when I pull out a coin purse. So I am in line at the pharmacy to pick up my prescriptions, about $15 worth. I carry a leather coin purse with me that usually has about $20 in coins because I chuck the change from cash purchases in it, so I am able to give exact change or help out a cashier if it is really busy and their drawer is short on coinage, but they can't leave the till to make change. I spent many years in retail, but I digress. I pull out my coin purse first, and the people in line behind me audibly groan, and one woman says in a very sarcastic tone, "Oh sure, just go ahead and pay with change. It's not like any of us have places to be." So I smile and act obviously to her sarcasm and say, "Cheer, thanks," and proceed to pay the entire $15 in change. Had they not been twats about it and held in their annoyance for about 3 seconds longer, I'd have pulled my wallet out, which was under the coin purse, and paid with the last of my cash, and finished off with coins as I intended to do. I get paid on the 1st and 15th of every month, so the last day of the month is usually rather tight as it was today. I hope you enjoyed the heat you just received, and before you leave, thank you for liking the video, for commenting, for subscribing, and even for those who shares the videos. This really helped me a lot and I appreciate what you do for me. I wish you all a beautiful day. I hope you are doing your best to reach your dreams, live a fulfilled life, have fun, and love the people around you.